Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Janice Mokgadi from CBNR Authority. My presentation today is titled CBNR Roles, Objectives, and Possible Synergies with Nuclear Industry. Chemical, Biological, Nuclear, and Radiological Weapons Management Authority was established under Section 5 of the Chemical Weapon Prohibition Act, number 20 of 2018. The authority operates under 3 acts, namely Chemical Weapons Prohibition Act, Biological Weapons Prohibition Act, and Nuclear Weapons Prohibition Act. We have integrated legal obligations with Radiation Protection Act, the Penal Code, Counterterrorism Act, and Financial Intelligence Act, amongst others. We also have international obligations with a number of treaties and conventions, such as the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, the Safeguard Agreement to Nuclear Weapons, the Pelindaba Treaty, United Nations Security Council Resolution number 1540, which talked to non-proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. United Nations Security Council Resolution number 1373, which also talks to threats to international peace and security caused by terrorist acts. Chemical Weapon Convention, Biological Weapon Convention, and the Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. The roles of CBNR Authority include the following: administrative and technical requirements governing the use of CBNR materials for peaceful purposes, public and environmental protection, waste safety, security, and emerging preparedness and response, to monitor and implement United Nations Security Council Resolution number 1540, Chemical Weapon Convention, Biological Weapon Convention, and other international instruments at national level. To secure sites and sources of CBNR materials, infrastructure, laboratory, and transportation security. To strengthen import-export control and transboundary movement of CBNR sources through collaborative border control strategies with neighboring states. For effective awareness enhancement on CBNR matters at all levels in stakeholders, ministries, organizations, and agencies. Our strategy is to prevent, detect, and respond to CBNR attack. Also to put measures in place to ensure quick recovery from attacks and minimum loss of life. This includes stopping terrorists from carrying out attacks and denying them access to CBNR materials, strengthening interagency cooperation and border detection, respond promptly and effectively to CBNR attack, and recover as quickly as possible from its impact, to undertake public awareness through local, regional, and international collaboration. CBNR materials has been used in a number of instances. Toxic materials such as sarin, which is a nerve agent, has been specifically developed for warfare as a chemical weapon. Anthrax was used in the First World War as a means to contaminate animal feed, but it has also been used in humans. Radiological materials can be combined with explosives to produce what is referred to as a dirty bomb for contamination of people and buildings. Nuclear materials may be used to develop an improvised nuclear device, which is the most devastating of the CBNR materials. Now let's look at global and national threats. Internet has made information widely and easily accessible on the technology of CBNR devices and materials that might be used to develop them. Most of these materials are used for legitimate and peaceful purposes. For example, in nuclear energy, medicinal science, research and development, and biotechnology. However, the production and the use of these materials significantly increase the risk of them being diverted and exploited by terrorist organizations. And hence the reason why we need to regulate them in our country. They say security is as good as its weakest link. Botswana plays a role in global security regime. CBNR material is a variable and may be subject to theft by insiders or criminals and terrorist organizations. We also have to ensure that CBNR materials are not illicitly trafficked, and also to control transboundary movement. Our main challenge is that these materials are difficult to recognize or detect once released, since they come odorless or colorless. They can also be a radioactive material emitting radiation that cannot be seen or felt. They may evoke intense fear or other psychological reactions amongst affected population. These challenges can easily be resolved through interagency cooperation using already existing mechanisms. It is therefore important that the regulatory system be harmonized to ensure integration and coordination. Guns, gates, guards are no longer enough to manage public safety, security, and proliferation. These interagencies include, but not limited to, the list below: the Disaster Management Office, the Radiation Protection Inspectorate, the police, the army, customs, civil aviation authority, financial intelligence, environmental organization, as well as laboratories. Just recently, an interagency team was established in order to address matters related to CBNR materials collectively. This team is responsible for drafting what is referred to as National Implementation Action Plan for CBNR. Once this draft has been concluded, it will be shared with the rest of other agencies for their comments and inputs. A regional approach is also very important. We need to have an integrated, holistic approach to security, safety, and safeguard as a region. We need to promote regional approach and harmonization of regulatory activities, as well as encourage bilateral or multilateral collaborations amongst other countries and partners. I must mention that we already have 2 or 3 neighboring states who are interested in benchmarking from us going forward. We also have international partners who play one role or the other. For instance, United Nations Office on Disarmament Affairs, which is aimed at achieving general and complete disarmament of the entire weapons of mass destruction. The 1540 Committee in particular plays a role in assisting in the implementation of the authority. We recently had a very successful workshop on the strengthening the implementation of Resolution 1540, hosted by the 1540 Committee and funded by the European Union. Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, which is the implementing body for Chemical Weapon Convention, continues to support our country in trainings as a means of building capacity and capability in chemical weapons preparedness related matters. The International Atomic Energy Agency, which seeks to promote safe, secure, and peaceful use nuclear technology, also continue to support our country in form of trainings, research assistance, equipment, amongst others. The Verification Research, Training, and Information Centers also assist in drafting our laws and ensuring that they are harmonized with international requirements. We also have the World Customs offices, as well as WHO and the rest. With that, I would like to thank you.